Well, there you are, you little nation of scumbags. Yeah, how's it going? A very good morning to you, and I hope you're having a very profitable Cheltenham week so far. This is potentially the biggest and busiest off the ball AM we've ever had, because we've got two hits from Cheltenham, one from John Duggan and one from Johnny Ward. We're going to go to Graham Hunt to talk about Barcelona and Leo Messi, who is being Leo Messi even at this very late stage in his career. And of course, we're going to talk about us being scumbags.
Yeah,
I'm a scumbag, you're a scumbag, your mum and dad are scumbags, the people who sweep the streets, your teachers, your doctors, everybody who brings you these programs, the people who deliver your milk. We are all a nation of scumbags.
We're scummy. We're not scumbags. There's a difference between being a little bit scummy and between
a
being a
full-blown
scumbag.
scumbag.
Yeah, definitely. So
what's the difference?
I would say that being scummy is trying...
We'll spit at you, but we won't steal your money.
Being scummy is being kind of... I suppose if the bus driver isn't looking and you sneak onto the bus, that's being a little bit scummy. Whereas going out of your way to say, screw you, bus driver.
I'm getting on, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference between being scummy and being a scumbag. So we're scummy. We're the people who are opportunists.
Jamie Carragher was scummy, but he might not be a scumbag. But we don't know. I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt in that instance.
It was a scummy act done by potentially a non-scumbag. But
or potentially a scumbag, we don't know.
I'm absolutely mystified, first of all, by how this nation has kind of erupted into a state of outrage about these Eddie Jones comments.
Have we though, really? Do we not really go, who cares? You're a bit of a dickhead. We always knew that, and now it's been laid plain for us.
Well, I think we do. I think the nation does care about this stuff. I think there is a kind of, obviously, this Irish inferiority complex, which weirdly has come up quite a bit on this show recently, that it's like some man who is involved with England calls us a derogatory term. Therefore, no, I'm saying in general. So this is the specific of it. And we therefore have to leap to this sort of level of outrage, which is necessary in this case. But it's not necessary in this case. It was a really, I think we should all be laughing at Eddie Jones for this situation, because clearly he thinks it was grand to just go up on stage and say in public that the Irish are scummy and that Wales is a shit country and all that sort of stuff, thinking that it would not bite him in the arse. And clearly having to issue an apology is biting yourself in the arse, because you are getting distracted from the match day preparation.
Well, you're not getting distracted from the match day preparation. The press office comes along and says, right, we're going to have to deal with this. We'll nip it in the bud. I'll write something. You put your name to it and away we go. And he goes, grand. There'll be questions about it. Make sure you got your answer ready for it. What's your answer for it? Oh, mate, I was getting paid, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, all right, okay, fine, we're done. It's not really distracting.
Fair enough. Okay, so it's not distracting. In that case, there is no real story here. But I think it is a little bit of a distraction, and that is the only thing that you can construe as a real kind of measurable thing here. But also, I'm just incredibly impressed by the cojones that Eddie Jones showed to get up on stage wherever this conference was. Was it in Japan?
Jones.
Whatever. Troy Deeney said cojones, so I'm saying cojones.
Cojones is correct.
Yes. It was John Watson at the weekend, wasn't it? My apologies. So Eddie Jones gets up on stage it was Japan, wasn't it, where this conference was on? It certainly wasn't in any of the Six Nations countries, and decides to slap down a load of Six Nations humour on these people who clearly don't have a clue what's going on. So he walks in and he's like, oh, the scummy Irish, eh? Anybody laughing? And nobody's laughing. And then he's like, well, what about Wales? Anybody in here from Wales tonight? Nobody's responding. And he's like, little shit country with 3 million people, and nobody's laughing still. It's like an Irish comedian going to New York and is like, remember the bread shortage last week? Anybody? That was essentially what Eddie Jones was doing.
That was you pretty much walking around the streets of New York this week. I can attest to that.
Yeah, but that was me.
Stuck at the subway turnstile going, hey, well, how about that bread shortage, eh?
That was the kind of toned down version of what Eddie Jones did. Also, as well, the use of the word scummy. I don't think anybody has used scummy in a derogatory sense since Arctic Monkeys in 2006. It's a term that I haven't heard in a long time, and I applaud Eddie Jones for using it, and it is absolutely hilarious. As a nation, we should be laughing at him.
What's the Arctic Monkeys?
So it was the original title of the song, When the Sun Goes Down, one of their first hits. And I guess it was kind of Sheffield slang back in the day. Maybe Mancunian. I don't quite know. I'm not sure if it's in the Australian vernacular, whether or not
I presume it is, yeah.
Obviously, they're in a different time zone. Maybe they live in a different time of slagging people entirely.
Yeah.
And
well, it's pretty rudimentary, crappy banter, like #bants, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to make some fairly crappy, crude stereotypes. It's just a little bit short about banging on about sheep in Wales, isn't it? Like
it's not.
It's verging onto that. But it's like it's not important.
It's completely
really
unimportant. What?
Let's have a look at the video. Tommy's shouting at us here. Get to the video. Get to the video.
So Wales, who knows Wales? Is there any Welsh people here? So it's this little shit place that's got 3 million people. 3 million people. 3 million. We've played 23 tests. We've only lost 1 test to scummy Irish. I'm still dirty about that game. But we'll get that back. We'll get that back. Don't worry. We'll get them next year. We'll get them back.
Yeah, so that's what Eddie Jones thought was going to happen. Except what actually happened was that there was stone cold silence apart from the guy on the stage who it turns out is Irish.
Yeah, Mike Lynch is his name, former worker with the SAS. So it's very hard to find out information about this guy, Mike Lynch. But I do find if you Google him and Google enough kind of terms to do with the army, you will find a Twitter page named Mike Lynch, which in its bio says that a former operative with the British Special Forces.
Commander Indigenous Covert Operations Forces in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yes, but if you click on that Twitter page, the page does not exist anymore. However, on the bio that you can see on the Google search, it does say Ireland, so it's not just an Irish name. Mike Lynch does seem to have Irish connections, and clearly Eddie Jones is grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Like this is like, hey Mike, look at me making a funny quip about your nation.
This doesn't matter. But like, I think all it goes to show is that Eddie Jones is a bit of a clown.
And
like,
we knew
actually,
this.
I thought he was. Exactly. That's the thing. His true colours are emerging for everybody to see. And like, I mean, the RFU are full of toffs, so maybe this matters to them. Maybe they're thinking, who's this little guy getting us in trouble?
Well, if it matters to you,
angry man getting us in trouble.
If you're getting angry about this,
with a crappy breakdown.
Then if you're getting angry about this, then you clearly haven't been following Eddie Jones's career, or you haven't been like. I've got plenty of respect for Eddie Jones as a coach. I've got little to no respect for him as a man. I mean, this is just kind of representative of his character, and we've known that this is the type of man he is. That being, like, I don't want to work myself into a frenzy now because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Time.